I will tell you this. It is an undeniable fact that the employment situation in Finland right now is not looking good. And this has been largely contributed by the economic situation in Finland. I think for the past 4 years, I would say, Finland has been suffering a lot economically. Yeah, and this has resulted into, many people losing their jobs. And also many young people have failed to get access to employment opportunities. However, I would love to point out one thing. Yes, I somehow believe that this report of Finland having the highest unemployment rate in the European region, I would say it has very little to do with foreigners. Very little. I'm going to tell you why. Number one, very few foreigners who are job seekers are registered as job seekers. Most of foreigners who are looking for jobs are not registered, and they are looking for jobs manually. So this means that they are not being taken into account when these reports are being compiled. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So even now, when this unemployment rate has risen, I think one of the reasons is that there has been big layoffs of Finnish workers who actually we have layoffs, but also we have the contracts which ended and they were not renewed. Most of them being Finnish people. Yes, so these people, I think they have added largely into the unemployment rate, but also there has been a slowdown in hiring the young people. And this has been of larger concern, I think, to the Finnish government and many institutions, that the young people in Finland, I think aged between 18 to 24 years of age, they are not employable at the moment. And so even most of the measures that have been implemented, they're implemented in order to help these people back into the jobs, or at least give them access into the job when we're speaking of the young people who have just graduated, maybe their high school or their university degree or something like that. Number two, I would say in as much as I have been able to observe and learn and experience, this is what I'm going to tell you, that it has always been hard for foreigners to get access to job opportunities. Not impossible. There has been some cases where few foreigners had, straight connection to job opportunities, professional job opportunities I'm talking about, yeah. But the majority, it has always been very, very challenging. Yes, and actually there has been many reasons, that can be used to explain the situation. One of them being the language, and of course there are many other reasons. But I do recall ever since I moved to Finland that there are some people that I knew who are foreigners. Some spoke Finnish, some didn't speak Finnish, and they all struggled to get access to job opportunities. So like I say, this unemployment situation, or the report, mostly is relatable to the Finnish people who have, been looking for the jobs and are actually registered as job seekers. But of course, in some way, it also affects foreigners because, maybe back then it was difficult to get into the job opportunities, but it was not as hard as now, because now we have even the bigger competition. We have a bigger number of locals who are also struggling looking for job opportunities. So definitely it's going to be difficult even getting access to non-professional jobs, the cleaning world, something like that. It has even become difficult to get access to those, but I can say it has always been difficult. Here's the point that I wanted to emphasize. The Finnish government and other institutions, they are really working hard to address this unemployment situation in Finland. Yeah, but one thing that you must note is that these measures are being taken seriously to help specific groups of people. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. For instance, like I said in the beginning, among the groups that are being mentioned to be affected mostly by the economic situation to an extent that they cannot be hired are the group of young people. Young Finnish people aged between 18 to 24 years. So there are many, many measures that are being taken that are pushing this group into the job industry. One among them is to speak to the companies and different employers that are able to hire these young people. Others being to bring different courses and trainings just to prepare these people so that they can be employable. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, but the question is, what measures are being taken to help foreigners who have not been employable? What measures are being taken? And of course, one may mention the integration period. If you have just graduated, you will have, I think, 2 years of integration, if I do recall correctly. But also, if you came through family ties, I think you have 1 year where you have to undergo your Finnish language training free of charge. And I would say the integration period mostly is about that, about the language lessons. And of course, you will also be exposed to the culture and something like that. Yeah, but I would say most of the programs, they would not link you straight to employment. You're gonna have to find a way to find your way to the employment. You're gonna have to find your way to the employment. And I do agree, there has been some few institutions as well and offices which are trying to help people, including telling people how to make your CV, how to make your cover letter, how to conduct yourself in an interview. But the question is, really, is improving your CV counting towards getting access to job opportunities? Really, in today's age? I don't think so. Because employers will open up your CV once they have already built the interest towards you. And one employer may get 200 applications for just one role. So until the employer opens up your CV, bro, man, I don't know when that's gonna be. Yeah, so my point is that there are no strict measures yet that are being taken to seriously help foreigners get access to job opportunities. And this is something that we have to address ourselves. We have to find a way to support ourselves as foreigners in Finland. And don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that we are being restricted into accessing job opportunities. I'm just saying that there are no strict programs that have been built or developed to push foreigners or internationals into the job industry. That's my point. But everything else is open. The thing is, how much do we understand about the patterns of things? How much do we understand about the path that we're supposed to take when we are building our careers here in Finland? We're going to have to understand. And one also more point that I think you do need to understand. I came to the point of understanding that most of the locals, or I'd say Finnish people, they would welcome foreigners with an understanding that these people should know what they are doing, should know what they want. So no one is gonna come and tell you, bro, this is the path you are supposed to take. Take this profession here. Take this path here. Nobody's gonna tell you that. You're gonna have to know yourself what you want, and then maybe you can tell somebody, this is the path I want to go. But the thing is, us as foreigners, we are here, this is the new place. A lot of uncertainty. You are waiting for a sign from the local, somebody to come and tell you, bro, we are in demand of, computer programmers here. Could you take this path here? But that's not happening. Anyway, let me not make this video very long. This is the thing. I've started to develop this program, or a campaign, I would say at least, which I've called the Vision Framework. And in this program, one among the things that I'm looking forward to do is to go through stories of different internationals or foreigners who have been in Finland for 10, 15, 20 years and have been through all ups and downs, trying to build their careers. And maybe some of them have already succeeded into their dream jobs, or maybe some are still struggling. But could they tell a story that we can learn together? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so this is gonna be an indefinite program. I don't know, until further notice. And for each month, we're gonna be having either a meetup or a workshop that is related to telling a story, inspirational story, motivational, encouraging, but also workshop, how to look for job, how to build value, how to market our talents well. So next week I've welcomed an international called Sudipta Chatterjee. I don't know if I've said this name correctly. Please forgive me if I didn't. Yeah, so Sudipta will come and will share her story. What did it take for her, to start from being a student at Savonia University here in Kuopio to becoming the education export executive at the same institution? What did it take? What did she go through this time? Is there anything that we can learn from her story? So this, we are meeting on Tuesday at UEF, Snellmania, room 101, if I remember correctly, from 2:30 to about 4. But also, I'm looking forward to live stream this session, maybe on TikTok or maybe on YouTube. Not so sure yet, but I'm still arranging myself. So just to get us all informed well. Yes, and it's going to be, I believe it's going to be fun. It's going to be educative. So please, if you are planning to come and attend physically, please do register, because we have only a small room that is able to take about 16 people maximum. Yeah, and we already have registrations and few seats are still open. So if you are still interested to come to listen to the story, get a chance to ask questions face to face, please do register so that we can know who is coming, and we can let others know if the seats are already full. Otherwise, stay tuned. All this content will be published on our page called Kuhoga Insights for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And of course, on TikTok, I will publish all the materials on my page. So please, you can also follow my page if you're on TikTok to make sure that you get updated with all this educational content. So see you around, and all the best.